Feed me. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show. I am your host, the big guy Ryback. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Streaming live on Instagram and TikTok, the big guy Ryback 22. Thank you guys joining on the live streams over there. Streaming live also on Facebook at Ryback Reads, Twitch at Ryback Rules, and at Rules. And as always, on YouTube at Ryback TV. Guys, super chats are greatly appreciated here and brought up on the screen. Health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, sports, and anything and everything in between. We are on X, Twitter, Spaces as well, guys. Thank you to all my subscribers on X. I do follow you guys back on there. If you guys want to join the show, the People's Podcast, follow me at Ryback or just click on at Ryback on X, Twitter, guys, and join the show. You should see it at the top of my profile page as the show's going live. Hit that request to speak button if you'd like to come in. It will put you in the queue, and we'll get you on if we can. This show is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated. Guys, if you've got a moment to leave a star rating and to write a review on iTunes, thank you very much. It just takes a quick minute, and it really helps the cause on the audio platform. We'd like to get to 1,000 reviews, guys, so we need some of those to start coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors for all people, men and women, he, she, and thee on feedmemore.com. Save 20%. Discount code FEEDME20, FEEDME20 to get 20% off, and you get a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle with your orders. Feedmemore.com. All the Ryback merch, drinkware accessories, workout accessories, and the best supplements on the planet. Feedmemore.com. Happy Monday. Drinking some of my cotton candy Finish It branch chain amino acid electrolyte matrix. I've got a big conditioning day right after the show, and then a big shoulder scar tissue session with Wasana, working on the shoulder further. A great weekend of working on the shoulder as well. Sauna, conditioning, a lot of cardio work. We have started the cutting process. Still, 3:0, went to bed at 3:01, but I have since Friday since Thursday, began cutting my carbs, and Friday did not do as much of a carb day as I normally would do, but I'm holding strong over 300, right in that range. By the end of the day, 298, 299, waking up, and the cutting process, though, of cutting out some of the carbs, the last meal, no more carbs on the last meal, my third meal of the day, cutting those carbs in half on that, and then everything else remains the same diet-wise. And then I will continue to increase the cardio and the sauna. All that work will be there, and we'll tighten up and see where we end up with everything. Good to see all of you guys. Thank you. I've not been doing the 2K23. I've been letting my voice and just taking a break around you guys all week. So I need little breaks, guys. I do a lot of social media stuff. You know, I do a show 5 days a week. I do the feeding time every week. That's 6 things with that right there. I need a day off with everything. So I'm not doing that. I told you guys I try to do the games. I can do it in little spurts. I'll probably do it in little spurts again, but I can't. I got to give myself some time off with everything that I got going. Good to see all of you. Taking a look at the chat here. We have a new feeding time video up. Burger King, new Italian chicken sandwich. Nice little meal. I had that with Oreo shake and onion rings. And for that, and I put it in the comments as well on that. I gave the dogs an onion ring during the video, and I wasn't sure if they could have them. They can't. And I saw it after I did it, I looked, and I'm glad I didn't give them a lot. Luckily, they were completely okay. And, that was Friday, and they're totally fine. But I've kept an eye on them since they didn't have any. Luckily, those things, are so much bread on those things anyways. And but dogs cannot have onions. And I don't know why I didn't know that, because I'm pretty good with that stuff. But they I should have checked before I did the video, but luckily they're okay. Thank God. That would have been, but it would have taken, it doesn't take a ton, but it would have taken quite a bit of those to probably get them sick. Let me see, taking a look at some of your comments. We'll go ahead and get to the calls here. Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody on TikTok. If you guys want to join this show at Ryback on X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, you could call in and be a guest live. Take a question here. We'll bring in Mark for a question today. Mark, happy Monday. What's on your mind today?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Hey, I was wondering, why didn't you ever get any tattoos? Just wondering.
Just never have felt the need for it.
Right, yeah.
I don't mind them. I think they look great on other people. I just don't, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just don't, I enjoy, like, I've always been in shape. I get enough attention as it is, just how I look. So I really never have felt the need to do anything other than that. I know a lot of people get things for meaning and whatnot. I just think, like, if you, like, for me, it's like if something means something to me, it means something to me internally. And I know that I don't also need to get it on my skin. I don't know. I just kind of think that's I've always just felt like, I don't know. I think everyone's different on why they get them. And like, I think they look great. Like, I think women, they look hot on certain women when they get certain ones. And I also think they can look really ridiculous on people with some of the ones they get. So, but that's them, not me.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because tattoos don't make the man. You make the man, pretty much. You know.
Yeah. No, I don't know if, you know, I think if you go back and watch, like, wrestling wise too, like, you know, I don't think having, you know, a Hungary tattoo across my chest with an AK-47, you know, firing off with smoke coming all over my chest, I don't think that makes Ryback any more badass. Or like, if I, you know, if I tattoo feed me more across my neck or on my forehead, like, I don't think it really, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think that helps me at all. So I think my intensity is off the charts on its own without a tattoo.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, not everybody, you know, needs tattoos. I mean, it's just like a trend. Everybody follows a trend and, you know, they get it.
I'm going to get a big one on my back for my return that says, "Pay attention to me."
Yeah. Hey, if you could put like a, one of those, I don't know, those sticker things or whatever, you know, it peels off your skin and it says that on your back.
Well, I joked. I'm not joking though. Like, I want to do the fake tattoos. I would just do a new fake tattoo every week just so we could sell them for merch with that, and like put, like, have Hungry on my shoulder every week, and then like little kids can be just like me and go buy my tattoos, but they're not permanent.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a seller. That's a good market for you there.
I'm sure they've sold them before in the past, but nobody's really, I think, just putting them on every week, like just like a fake tattoo on the shoulder. Every month, do a different one. Feed me more 1 month, Hungry 1 month, you know, stuff like that. Feeding time another month, and then just sell the tattoo packs to kids, you know, and then overtake LA Knight as the top merchandise seller.
Yeah. Hey, that LA Knight, man, I can't believe how much the crowd pops for him. And,
oh yeah, he's doing great, man. I enjoy watching him. I think he's doing a fantastic job. We'll have to see.
Oh yeah.
I think he needs an adversary. I think he needs. I've talked about that previously. When you got something like that, and they're kind of dragging it out, like I could tell. Like, I don't know if they know what direction they're going to go, but like, he's doing a program with The Miz, and like they had him get beat the other day on SmackDown again. And you know, and it's, but he'll win the program. Like, if they keep doing it right, but like at some point he's going to have to really, really face an adversary or something. There has to be a really strong story in place. But so far everything's good. Like, I'm sure he's happy, and hopefully, you know, they have him on a direction to keep working him to the top. I've said if they don't know who should take out Roman and his momentum continues, I think he should. I think they would be foolish not to do something at the right time with that. If he is red hot still come WrestleMania time, and in Roman, like I think that could be a really, really big piece of business. But we'll have to see. A lot has to happen for that to get to there.
Right, yeah, because a lot of people are saying they're waiting for Cody and Roman for WrestleMania and all that, but that's like a long way from the road,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You need everyone to stay healthy. There's a lot that goes into that. Momentum wise, the crowd can turn the crowd is, we'll have to wait and see. Too, Cody faces, and I'm rooting for Cody. He. Where does Cody go after defeating Brock Lesnar?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. What's going to be bigger than beating Brock Lesnar finally clean, which is something not a lot of guys have gotten to do. Like that is a huge feather in his cap. And but like now it's like if he's not going for the title again with it, who does he realistically face that is going to captivate the crowd and keep them on his side? I think I look at it, I go, where do you go from here? Like how do you keep his momentum going up from now to WrestleMania when he just took out the guy that like there's nobody bigger for him to beat in the company outside of Roman, which they didn't have him beat at WrestleMania and they went that route. But Brock, that feud has occupied him to this point, but he's now came out of this hole. He came out of it better with Brock, but now there's no one between Brock and Roman that is a bigger win than Brock that can keep that momentum going up unless there's somebody with a story. But what story? I haven't seen that, so we'll have to wait and see. But it's an interesting spot that he is in. He's literally in the he hasn't won the championship. He has people on his side. He's over. But you got to have a direction at the end of the day. And maybe they know what that is. Maybe they don't. But I'm curious to see where it goes.
Right, yeah. Unless he just feuds with like Solo and
But even that's still there's unless they so that would but they have the bloodline thing going on. But if you're going to infuse him into that now, you'd have to infuse him with the bloodline from now to WrestleMania, which we're still in August.
Right.
I'm getting close to September, but September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. You have 8 months plus of TV. There's no way they don't have that. He can't start that yet, realistically. So unless they were gonna I don't see them taking the title off of Roman prior. I think that happens at a WrestleMania with how long this has gone at this point. But I don't know, man. I do think it would be interesting if they did something to get Cody to keep him going till the Rumble. I think it would be really interesting to do an if LA Knight's momentum continues where he wins the Rumble and maybe there's something with Cody with that, like where it looks like it's going to be Roman and LA Knight, but then Cody maybe with the turn, something where they do a triple threat possibly. I don't know, but then you got to go. Who does Cody get it? Then is he heel or do they award it to LA Knight, who's red hot? So this is the crazy world of wrestling and politics, and it's why you just try to go one day at a time. But I'm just looking at it from the outside in. I go, where does he realistically go from now to WrestleMania? That's bigger than Brock. I don't know.
Right, yeah, that seems a good thing, for him and Cody and LA Knight to feud, and then have the story just go on from there.
I would like to see if they don't know, like if Cody maybe gets jealous and insecure of LA Knight's rise of popularity, and they really like Cody falls to number 2, LA Knight's number 1 in merch, and they really play that up. But I don't know. I'm just realistically, I don't know. I think that's a really, really good storyline at some point if they could do that, but. I still say I will hold on to it. I still think Cody should have won at WrestleMania if that was the only time, like the story was in place. I don't see it getting.
But do you see like WWE wanting Roman to beat Bruno's record?
That could be something too. That's why I said that's the golden goose. That's the big storyline. Takes precedent over everything else with it. So,
I mean, they went this far. I mean, it's like, how far are they going to go to?
Yeah.
to where we see, where he, he can break the record, and
in Cody, but they do have the other
So-
championship though, so Cody could always beat Seth or whoever has it at that time. There's
Right.
options here with it, where I think maybe they just give Cody time. They distance the Roman stuff enough, and they could always revisit the Roman angle at another time, whether he's champion or not. But yeah, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. I don't know. Like I can't stress. Like I thought about it when it happened. Like with all of it, I go, you beat Brock Lesnar 2 out of 3 times. In a you get the rubber match. You get a 3 pay-per-view deal with Brock, and you come out clean of it. You come out whole of it. I go, that's huge. The problem though is there's nobody after that really other than Roman, and I don't.
Right.
And that's that where, and then you got to go start like where you want that as a character wise. He's at that end of the road character wise in the sense of to get to the championship. Like he's at that last step where he just needs to win the championship. There's his character's over. He's proven himself to the fans, everyone, to the company. So I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me that he beat Brock. I thought WWE's going to just bury him pretty much, but they didn't. So they got something there for him to go further.
Yeah.
I would think. But
oh, definitely. I hope so too. I just think it could be hard sometimes, or things can become stale momentum wise if a character isn't going after something, So that's where I was like, and he's been going after it. I've got to wait and see. I'm interested to seeing his next program, and and how everything goes.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I got one more question for
you. Okay.
I was watching the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, and they was doing the super kicks and stuff.
Yep.
Usually, the talent, they put their hands in front of their face so they don't get kicked in the face, right?
Not all the time. Not depending on who they're working with or the move. So if I'm taking a big boot from Sheamus, the bro kick that's coming directly at my face, my hands are going up because the boot is coming at my face, the front of my face. On a super kick, those typically come at the side of your neck to the side of your face, maybe with with the flat of the boot and where guys and like you can, but you still always try to react and get your hand where you're going, like in motion with it, where you can kind of graze it. There's sometimes that doesn't happen though on it, and depending on who you're working with, like I've never worked the Young Bucks, so I don't know, the level of their kicks. I've worked with Dolph, and I know like his super kick never felt a thing. There's just guys that you've worked with, or that they're probably not gonna, even if it hits you, it's not gonna end up hurting you because they know where to put it in a safe place. And so
right. So they can pretty much like Dolph, like levitate his kick to where it looks like it's coming real fast, but he does it like kind of like a tap.
Yeah. It's knowing when to, like the pressure. It's like throwing a punch where you go full blown is when you're going through the movement, but as you're coming towards the end of the movement, you're already pulling it back. So it's like you're reducing the force that's coming in, even though like you're not following through essentially with it, where you're pulling back, but you're still making contact. And then with the person, registering or selling, and how they come into it, it can look more impactful than it is on that. And that's just doing that stuff thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and you just get a feel for it, like when you do things like that with it, of that. And two, we're always taught, and this is the majority, you're taught to hit hard in safe places, or hit in safe places, so that even if you do make contact, you're making contact in a place that isn't going to break somebody's jaw or bones. You know what I mean? Like that. So
right, yeah,
their nose.
Yeah, because when I was watching that, I was like, man, Jeff and Matt, they was taking kicks to the face like over a dozen times. I was like, man.
Yeah, well, they've worked those guys quite a bit, so they know. Like, and two, sometimes guys will just do that to get a little more added effect in it, to make it. Sometimes people put their hands up, other times they've worked them. They know what's coming. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm gonna get off here. Let other people get on, and hey, I appreciate you taking my call there.
Always, Mark. You have a great Monday. Thank you.
Okay, you too, Ryback. Talk to you later, bud.
Take care. Great questions, bud. Thank you very much. And we're gonna just segue into our tribal chief Keith. It looks like we have a Roman Reigns supporter here. I've got a super chat also that I want to get to real quick. John Trevor Cruz, thank you. I can't wait to see your match against Goldberg. # feed me more. Thank you very much, John. We've still got a lot of work to do. We got to see if we can get that done. Taking a look at the chat real quick. Good to see all of you in the chat. Thank you guys very much for joining the show. All right, the tribal chief. Hello, welcome to the show, tribal chief.
What's up, big dog? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. Yeah, I guess I am a Roman fan, so I get all the ridicule everywhere. But, other than that loss that Jay ain't lost in a while. So my question was, besides, Cody and LA Knight, anybody else you'd like to see get that belt off of Roman?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of who would really, if whoever beats him it's going to be big. It's going to be a huge. If they do it with the right person, they could really catapult somebody up. Roman's already made with it. Cody, to a degree, is already made, but can go to that next level. It would benefit him. LA Knight, if the momentum continues, it would benefit him greatly with it, where you really, but it depends if they want that person to be in that role or not. So, like, knowing how I know how they look at that and how impactful, I don't know if Vince and them and Hunter and them have had a person in mind for this all along that maybe none of us are even thinking about. I don't know with it because but whoever beats him, it's going to be monstrous. It's like, but do you have a new talent debuting we don't know about where you're just going to let this guy go? You know what I mean? And then you try to think about, well, who would be worthy of that right now? I don't know.
Like a Braun Breaker.
Yeah, that's like he's in my head on that. Like he would be in that conversation of somebody that you're just going to we're going to make this guy right off the bat. Like, kind of like Kevin Owens beating Cena on it, but that was nothing compared to this with the champion, with how long this has gone on and everybody that he's beaten. So, but
that's kind of been with a lot of guys coming up like Drew and Sammy and KO. It's like, yeah, that'd be cool, but is it worth that victory, man? To me, it hasn't been yet. Like even Cody's first go, it's like just wasn't worth it yet. Now it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, if they get back into that, but it would be. Like, to me, the LA Knight thing is going to be the most interesting development going into WrestleMania in how they handle this with him and how he does, and if he is someone that they are going to let into that inner circle, or if they may try to distance LA Knight from all that and to keep him busy in programs. And to try to keep fans away from wanting to see that. But if he just keeps getting over and over and over, and people aren't giving up on it, that's going to cause some problems come WrestleMania season with it. So I fully think that there's a really strong chance that can happen unless they just completely derail him and then put out fake news on him and then we know something is really going on. But man, Solo, I go, is that somebody that they want to, invest in? It could be if the program turns to him and Solo going into that, but I don't know how big that would be even compared to a couple of the other. I think Cody and LA Knight over that is way better picks for the time being.
Agreed. I did a top 10, and I don't think I have Solo. Not right now.
Sorry, you cut out a little there. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I said, yeah, I did a little top 10. I was thinking of like a top 10. I was like, I don't even think Solo would crack that because I just don't see the storyline right now.
Yeah. Who do you think? I don't know. Who do you think besides those two? Because off the top of my head, with everybody there, I don't.
LA Knight was at the top of my list. Yeah. Obviously, I'd love to see another program with him and Seth. I think that under Triple H would be really good. Give them some time, let that build. You got Randy Orton rumored to be returning. Don't know how true those are, but I think that would be great. If
Orton, I don't know how
Randy.
true the Orton stuff is.
Me neither. And I don't pay too much attention to all the insider stuff. I'm a fan, so
Yeah.
I like to always be surprised.
The guy had, I mean, a major back fusion on his low back. This is, I don't know if people understand. Like, usually it's just so people, when people get that done, they're done usually with this. That's not saying he can't feel good and come back and maybe do a match, but I don't know how realistic it is for Randy Orton. And again, just knowing what I know about backs and that procedure and getting the disc fused like that, there's are real repercussions. It's like to going like Ronnie Coleman, that bodybuilder that had all these, he's crippled now with everything. But he kept working out after getting his back fused and kept popping out the screws with it. And like he had to have surgery after surgery after surgery. He's a mess, like physically a mess. Now, and that's weight training. With that, wrestling is way worse than weight training with what you're doing to your body out there, and still having to work out too on top of that. Now, I can't say 100% for sure because like he maybe, and I don't know if the technology on it is better, but like usually when you get your back multiple disc fused like that, a back fusion in your low back, it's game over. So I just think people, I think dirt sheets and those oftentimes just do things to get clicks, and like something might not even be like, he's not, from last I'd heard it, or even he wasn't cleared. That's not to say that he isn't, and like they don't think he can't come back and do a program. I'm just saying I don't know if we're going to have the Randy Orton doing what he did prior to all this.
No, for sure, for sure. I was just saying, if you are going to tie or beat that record, why not have him beat the?
I agree, though. He would be, if you want to bring him back and do it. If that was a surprise, or just hear me out on this. They build the build up for Cody Roman going for WrestleMania again, and on the day of WrestleMania, they pan to the back. Cody's lying down, taken out, and then Randy Orton's music hits, and he's the one that comes out to challenge Roman with it. Then Cody and Randy have a program for after Roman with that. Yeah. There we go. There's storytelling at its finest with the legacy stuff, and then that's a hell of a return for Randy. And then now, you know what I mean? Like something like that. Okay. I'm all on board on that, but we got to see if Randy is able to come back and work, come back again and work. So,
no, for sure. And then another question, if you're cool with it, man, I was like, so switching over, man, obviously also rumors, but who would you like to see Edge if he does go to AEW? Who would you like to see him go at it with, whether it's on the stick or in the ring?
Matt, very interesting. We had this guy Mike that's come on here. He hasn't been on in a bit. He would come on. He was the first one to break that news on here that Edge's contract was coming up, and that there was a really good likelihood. This was months ago. He said this, that he was going to go to AEW, and it looks like,
hell yeah, it's my first time on. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So Mike, the guy who I hope he comes back on because he has a lot of really good insight. He seems like he could be pretty spot on with that assessment. I know Edge, I saw on Twitter that he said the contract ends in September for WWE. I wouldn't be shocked to see him go over there with to do something. Maybe it's something with him and Christian for one last tag run. Something I think that would be, maybe that's something that's on his bucket list that he would like. He wants closure with. He had closure on the singles run the way he wanted everything. In WWE. Maybe everything is closed on that, or the possibility is, or he goes to AEW here in September, October. They have the tag run, maybe win the tag titles at some point with whoever that is. Maybe them, the Young Bucks, whoever, FTR, that they're on record of having a connection. They do a program with them, however, have that run. Who's to say in a year he doesn't go back and have one last retirement match in WWE? Like, that's also possible too. And with AEW having a lighter schedule and him going, if he'd work in a tag, he could preserve himself to maybe buy himself another year and make that a possibility. So I do think there's a very good possibility he does go there.
Do you follow like collegiate wrestling at all by chance?
Collegiate? No, not really.
I don't know. Okay, I know a lot of wrestlers. Did you happen to see the highlight last year of this kid Spencer Lee?
Hold on, your sound was cutting off again on it.
Oh, sorry about that. I had it on my charger. Is that better?
Yep, I can hear you now.
So this kid, Spencer Lee, 125-pounder last year, was supposed to win like his third national champion. He's up 5'4". He gets put on his back, stuck with a second left. The camera pans up to his mom, to see her reaction. Well, she just saw her son get pinned in the national finals on live TV, takes her glasses off, crushes him down, and slams him on the ground.
Oh, man.
Dude, but I heard now that, obviously with Dolph Ziggler, Chad Gable, a lot of these guys coming from amateur wrestling, that's kind of what I grew up doing.
Yep.
I really like the way these guys transition, other than Gable Stevenson. Have you heard of anybody else maybe on the NIL deals that are supposed to make it big up into either WWE, AEW, or whatever? Any of your insight?
No, but I'm sure that they were aware of people, they have their eye or have somebody, they have contacts that are keeping an eye on that stuff. I'm sure Jerry Briscoe, he keeps an eye on that stuff, and I'm sure him and Vince, I'm sure that's the kind of thing that if he sees somebody, he just makes a phone call or to Hunter or to one of them, or sends a message like, "Hey, you guys might want to keep an eye on him." I'm sure that goes on, no doubt. But a lot of those guys, Dolph too, a lot of people don't realize Dolph was a great amateur wrestler, but he gets it. He got away from that pretty quickly. And he realized, and some guys keep it in their character a little more. Obviously, Kirk being, with the gold medals, how can you not have that as part of your character?
For sure.
But, Dolph really kind of just learned the professional wrestling and never, he doesn't ever, outside of every once in a blue moon, he'll do a little something just to kind of just pop everyone. But it's, and Gabe, Chad has done a fantastic job as well of in there. He man, that guy, I tell you, and I've talked to him. He's a really cool guy. I'm really impressed with him, man. He's believable. He's intense too, Gable, when he's in there with everything.
Oh, he's one of my favorites for sure.
And even though he's a little smaller in stature, he wrestles so intensely, man. That guy I would have a blast wrestling him, like on live events and with time like that. I could see a lot of guys wanting to work with him because he seems like he gets it. So
yeah, I bet him or you or him and Brock would be insane,
dude. But I think with a guy like that too, when somebody has like a really, really great ability and gets it, even though he's a little bit maybe on the smaller side, it's like the Rey Mysterio. You don't let everybody do it, but like if you let just him, like he picks up some of the bigger guys and suplexes them. I have no problem with it because he can do it. And like it looks, but you don't want everybody doing that. But if you let just him, it makes him special, where he's kind of like that giant killer or gives bigger guys a problem with it. Then he could become a bigger star if they make that part of his character. And I could see him really pulling that off. But he's so talented, and he's really good at the comedy stuff as well. And he's found a good spot doing that for now. I could see him having a very serious run if they do it right, though, with it. But like, man, can you imagine if he had a match with Brock and he started suplexing Brock?
Back and forth.
Dude, but people would lose their shit with it. But he's the kind of character you could do that with because he has the background. He looks the part. He physically is a machine in the ring. Like that guy, he keeps up his body. That guy's always in shape. He's always got a tan. He takes guys like that are what I'm talking about. Like he covers all of his bases as a performer, and he's made himself where a lot of guys that size would not be used nowhere near as well as he even has in that. But he's able to go out there, even if it's not for him and he's not featured as much, he's still booked all the time, and he's on TV all the time. And he's getting more and more, and like doing the stuff with the Viking Raiders and when he's tossing them around. I was watching that and I go, that's not believable. That's believable with how he wrestles with it. And like he's like, so I could see him doing a lot more if ever down the road. And I don't think people would be against it because he covers all the, like he gets it. You could just see guys that like get it. He takes it seriously and he has a great attitude. And like, I would like to see him have a more increased role as time goes on.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I like Chad Gable too, man. Hopefully now Triple H looks like he's kind of definitely moved him far away from that Shorty G stick. So hopefully we can keep that trajectory moving forward.
It's one thing, and I grew up with Hardcore Holly, and Crash did that character, that smaller character so great. I think he can definitely do that a character like that or have a character with the little man syndrome, he could 1000% do that. I just think he could also play a bigger role if you let him play a bigger role. And I think people would accept it based off of his background and how he performs out there. Like, man, he delivers in matches. And whenever he has time, and when he does it, even in matches that aren't for him, he still does something to impress me. I'm like, God, I hope he gets a better role as time goes on. I love him and Otis together, though, with all of it. They're entertaining as all hell. It's just he is capable of playing a bigger role as a single star if they do give him that opportunity.
So we're obviously, he's in this with Gunther, but after Gunther, let's say he loses, where would you like to see him put into next?
I don't know. I mean, that's something I think as far as you could do a thing with him and Otis going into it if you want to turn them on each other. It's not as good for Otis in this, but my thing is if you're going to push Gable after this, I would like to see him kind of, with this loss, maybe it kind of does something to him and pisses him off enough where he starts going. I would like to see him just facing big guys on TV every week and let that giant killer thing start kind of growing and seeing if you can't get something with that, with him maybe doing an open challenge, taking on bigger guys, like where every week.
Let's get it.
That way you could let him throw around some no names, but suplex some big ass guys on TV and start getting that over as the giant killer, and then transition that to the roster. I think that would actually do really well. But you would have to have a goal, like a game plan with where you're going to go. The finish of it with it would be my thing would be if he starts getting over and moving merch and people are buying into it, you want to do something big with him at the end, but it's a difficult task, that company. There's only so many spots, but I could see something with a giant killer role with him.
No, that would be sick, honestly. That would be pretty sick. Hell yeah, man. I don't want to waste any more of your time, big dog. Appreciate you letting me in, man.
Always, buddy. You take care. Thank you for the great questions.
Yes, sir. You too.
Good deal. Seany on cue. We're going to get Seany in here. Let me get to this super chat real quick. Michael Rocco, thank you. Have you ever seen Jay Cutler at the gym? He lives in Vegas. Seems, in terms of bodybuilding, always felt like he had the best physique. Yeah, I know Jay. I haven't seen him in quite some time. I have seen him in the gym multiple times. I've seen him out various places. He doesn't live horribly far from me. He's probably 15 minutes from my house where he lives in Vegas. So, but I have seen him. I remember this was many years ago. I was eating sushi near his house. And this fat hand grabbed me on the back of my shoulder and, hey, Ryan, he's a very soft-spoken guy, but we had a nice conversation in there. But I've seen him since at the gym a couple times. We'll occasionally pop it, if I go to the LVAC on Rainbow, there's an LVAC over there. He'll pop in there occasionally. He's close to that one. And or there's an EOS Fitness Lake Mead in Buffalo over there. That used to be a Gold's Gym. I used to see him in there quite a bit. That's where he trained a lot for his Olympias. I'll go into that gym every once in a while just for nostalgia. It's crazy. I'll see people in there I saw back when I was younger, and it's wild. It's crazy how we all go gyms, and I'll go to just different gyms occasionally in town and see people I saw when I was really young. It's man, where does the time go? So, but yeah, he had absolutely amazing physique. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the drugs per se, but with all of that, but that is what those guys do in that. And hopefully he lives a very long, healthy, productive life, and he's done well with everything that he's done. All right, without further ado, let's get the man in here. Seany, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, big guy.
How's it going?
What's going on? How you doing, man?
Brother, just surviving. We had Hurricane Hilary the last few days.
Oh, my God. That sounds like a hurricane that killed a couple people.
Brother, it's been the biggest disappointment. Word going around the streets of Sin City is Monica blew way harder than Hilary on all of this. We got some rain on Friday. Yesterday, Saturday, and Sunday were supposed to be and today we're supposed to be really, really heavy rain and winds. Been hardly any winds. There has been rains in different parts of Vegas, with it.
Yep.
But not like very mild. Like today, it's cloudy out, but the sun, it's supposed to be completely sunny by the afternoon. But we did get a lot of rains in the mountains, which is great for Lake Mead with all of that. And like the flood system that we have, there's been a ton of water going into it. But like a lot of parts of Vegas, you'd be like, what? It was nothing. So
If you ever need to get water in Vegas, just have a bunch of girls stand on a mountain and I'll take my shirt off.
Big sausage in the house.
Big guy, I got a question for you, okay?
Oh, God, what is it?
Somebody in the know wanted me to ask you this. Do you have any perineum workouts?
Any perineum that you're talking about? Daniel Bryan was big on this. That believe
yes, that's it. Yeah.
The Daniel, he's very big on going. Him, and Kane. Daniel would be telling the locker room about tanning your taint out in the sun, getting it direct vitamin D by going out and just lying completely naked and just spreading your legs and letting that taint get that vitamin D directly from the sun for 15, 20 minutes a day. And that it increases happiness and testosterone levels. And Kane was listening in very intently to this. And we all noticed that, but we were just picturing Kane out in his backyard with the mask on, just tanning his taint for TV. But yeah, those are some of the discussions that would go on occasionally in the WWE locker room.
I'd never even heard the word perineum before, and I was literally laughing on my chair when I heard that.
Bro,
I was like, what the hell?
You've never heard of taint exercises?
I know I heard that. Never. I heard of the taint.
Bro, you got to work the body head to toes, man. You can't. The last thing you want is to be in shape and everything and jacked, but you have a weak taint. You want to at least 4 sets of 25 every day. Squeeze that taint, and I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference.
Holy shit.
We'd be in the locker room. I'd have the Captains of Crush hand grips, and then we'd have these rubber bands that they sold too that are for your fingers to strengthen your fingers. I do this stuff every week still, but for wrestling, you want strong wrist and hands, and you're in the ring. You don't want to be breaking fingers, and like I train everything literally. But we'd be talking about that. Dan was king of the taint talk though in the locker room.
I'm so happy that you remembered this, because I was like, what if he doesn't remember it? Then it's going to be like a big fail.
No, I remember everything for the most part. There's occasionally things I'll forget, but like there's wherever Dan's living, there's no doubt in my mind, at least one day a week, he's out there after gardening. He just pulls down his pants and he tans that taint still.
He puts the silver thing, like that like makes the sun go your way. You know what I mean? He holds that silver thing up by his taint.
Throws on a little Johnson & Johnson suntan lotion down below and just 15, 20 minutes out there.
How about this, big guy? So we're on our way home from the Live 17 with the Major Pod, right? And it was in Boston, like I told you, at Calhoun's. And John Cena Sr. came out. And what is that move that he did? He did the attitude adjustment on one of the guys and put him through a freaking door. And he's 79 years old.
Wait, his dad is 79?
His dad's like 79 years old.
Wow. He still I haven't seen a recent picture of him, but I saw one not long ago. I thought he still looks really good.
Yeah, he came out. He did the attitude adjustment right through the door.
Did he do the "you can't see me" right after it too?
Yes, he did.
I believe.
He did. I'll send you the video, whatever. After we're done or whatever.
Please do. What was his? Was he Johnny Fabulous? His wrestling, his gimmick name as a promoter.
I didn't even know that he wrestled. Did he wrestle?
Or he was a promoter, dude. I think it's Johnny Fabulous. Somebody in the chat will know.
Yeah,
bro. There's videos of him. Know. He's out, man. He goes hard in the paint.
Yeah, you're right. It was Johnny Fabulous.
Johnny Fabulous. Who are you riding with, Shawnee? You've got
It's me, and it's I got this. My friend Sunil 187. And my friend Salu.
Oh, good deal.
Sal.
Where you guys off? Where are you off to? Hardee's?
No, we actually ate at Fuddruckers Smuckers for the first time. I never had it before.
I've heard of that. I think I had that many years ago. What'd you get from there?
I got cheese fries, and I got a what is it? Buffalo chicken sandwich with a little bit of blue cheese on it.
I'm a big fan. When I was younger, the buffalo chicken sandwiches, and to this day, are still some of my favorite things.
Something about the buffalo, big guy. It's like with the blue cheese though, because I don't like spicy foods, so I need that blue cheese to like mild it down a little bit.
Yep.
But as long as it's not too hot, I mean, I love the taste of buffalo sauce. I don't know what it is.
Is it? Are you not good with hot foods?
I'm terrible with hot foods.
Well,
Terrible.
we would want to keep you away from my League of Fire Ryback Pepper Slam Chug Challenge, available on leagueoffire.com.
I saw that you have it at the League of Fire. I was thinking about buying it and doing a video.
Bro, you would be destroyed. I think
I would die. I think I would die on camera.
When you do these hot challenges with these things, you can't digest it. So like you do the challenge, and the key is that what people don't understand. You got to try to make it 5 minutes without puking or the heat, but almost like within 10-15 minutes after doing it, everybody throws up. Like you got to throw it.
I see.
Your body, it is so hot. Like you have to throw it up. It's such a crazy, but these are what these people do. There's some people that will drink 3, 4, 5 bottles of this stuff, but like, and they just, it's amazing. They could even make it 5 minutes. If I were to do 2 to 3 bottles of this, I should do the video because I would be puking everywhere on YouTube. Just blah, just atomic puke everywhere.
It'll be like The Exorcist, big guy.
Dude, I wouldn't want to. I'd have to make sure the dogs were nowhere around because that would be, oh, brother. I'm telling you, it is not for the faint of heart. But the people that do this stuff, like I'm amazed I can do what I can do on it. You've got it. There's a certain level of mental toughness, but also some of the people that they are like batshit crazy also.
So the biggest challenge I've ever did when it comes to food, big guy, like I said, I don't eat a lot of like real food, but like desserts and stuff or something, like I can eat a whole tub of ice cream easily, right? So I was in Florida, and at this place, they call it like the Scoopy or something, the Scoopy Challenge, and it was 9 scoops of ice cream. It was 6 different toppings and a whole can of whipped cream. And the person who had the record before me did it in like 16 minutes. I sat there and I did it in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I ran to the bathroom and I threw up just like you're talking about. I literally... like I threw up like 10 times straight, literally back to back to back. I don't think my body got any of that ice cream.
Yeah, no.
You know,
you did it. You got it's Matt. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like those food challenges too, like that stuff. You've got to condition yourself to eating. It's so not good for you. But all those food people, I'm telling you on YouTube that do these ridiculous food challenges, they go puke right after. You can't.
Bro, I was sweating. Like I was literally sweating from eating it.
Well, you're putting hundreds, if not thousands, of grams of sugar and different things into your body and calories like that. Just excessive amount in a very short period. And then too, like not as much ice cream, but other foods like the sodium. I did a huge McDonald's challenge once. I deleted it off the channel because I didn't want people even doing it. And it had a lot of views, but it was so much sodium. I was shaking uncontrollably because of all the sodium. And I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah, it's like it shocks your body, right? Like kind of like,
yeah, it's just not, that's when I go, I'm done. I'm not doing and I very rarely ever did anything like that. I go, I'm not doing videos like this. It's not worth it.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of feel bad because like I hate to like, not like it's wasting food, but I feel like I hate to be like a glutton. You know what I mean? Like I hate like knowing like I have like I'm eating all this ice cream when like maybe like like there's somebody that can't eat ice cream somewhere.
Well, it's not like you're Bill Gates and taking your money over to Africa, then injecting people with experimental drugs when you could be feeding them. Like you're not. You're just at an ice cream parlor and on Long Island. which that ice cream is just going to go to somebody else anyways. But
That's true. That's true. And meanwhile, it's coming out of my booty hole later on.
that Rocky Road is flowing. What's your favorite ice cream, Shawnee, for people would add to your biography here?
All right, my favorite ice cream, if I had to choose one ice cream, it would be, so I get the chocolate and vanilla, so it's a twist ice cream, and I let it, if it's soft serve, I can eat it right away. If it's the hard ice cream in the tub, I let it sit out and I let it melt.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then I mix it together because it tastes so fucking good. It tastes like a Frosty. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm a big Frosty. The Frosties from Wendy's. But I was a mint chocolate chip. I like all ice cream, but when I was a kid, mint chocolate chip was my go-to a lot of times. I love Rocky Road though. I love them all.
I love Rocky Road is my second, big guy.
Yeah. Rocky. My dad was a Rocky Road guy, so I would always get mint chocolate chip from my mom. She would always buy Rocky Road for my dad. I would get the tub of mint chocolate chip, but I would get to always have a little bit of his. So like those were kind of the two that I had a lot.
So how about this? My mom's a Rocky Road girl. That's where I like Rocky Road from, which is funny. But my mom, like she's been a pothead my whole life, right? And she would have the best snacks around. Like I that's why I'm fat, big guy. I'm telling you. Like she would have like the fudge cookies in the fridge, like everything. Like it was like heaven for a fat kid, man. I'm telling you.
It's difficult to grow up in a house like that, like because you're around it all the time.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm like. You know, I'm going under my bed, like eating like full things of ice cream, you know, like a little fat fuck, you know. And but like, hey, listen, you know, you only live once, you know what I mean? But my mom, she mixed. It's one of the weirdest things, but it's one of the best things. If you go to an Italian ice place, you get half lemon, half chocolate. And it is the best freaking mix ever, big guy.
You know, one of my fondest childhood memories is there was an icy slushy place down the road from our house, that we off of Decatur and Washington, and there's a Mexican market there now. But it was a little like store. It was a little hole in the wall. They had the best ices. Every summer we'd go there. We'd walk there. Our mom would walk us there. Me and my friends or my sister's friends, and I love the blueberry and the red. I would always get blue and red. I remember.
I love blueberry. Well, if you grow, like if you're in a Hispanic neighborhood, they have these things called the dirty ice guys, and they go around with a block of ice, and then they shave it and they put it in a cup, and then they pour syrup in it. So if you want blueberry, those are my favorite things ever, man, ever.
That's exactly what that place was. It was the syrups. It was unbelievable with that.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was. It was a slushy, like the ice. Like it was exactly that shaved ice. I should have called it.
Oh my God, bro! I would slip the guy a $5 and be like, "Yo, give me all the syrup."
Bro, I didn't know anything about dieting when I was a kid. I would eat, like when I started getting, like I remember my mom had to have a conversation with me after my parents got divorced. My mom would like have the groceries, and we always had like cupboards full of food. But I started getting to a point when I was growing that I could not like stop eating. And I would eat just the cupboard, like bags of chips, bags of cereal at once, like just all day, like during the summer. I'm just like, I'm hungry. And I would just eat everything that we had. My mom had to finally have a conversation with me that like, look, you can't just keep eating everything. Like, cause my sister was going hungry. Like I was eating all the food. So like I had to like scale back with it. But like my mom would like go to make like chocolate chip cookies. If she left the bowl of batter just like unsupervised for 5 minutes and she ran to her room, or like I would go in there and like eat the batter like a little like just piece of crap. Like I was just hungry. I constantly. And then I was like,
I've been there many times, man. It's a shitty feeling, but somebody's got to do it.
But I was like, well, she's making them for us anyways. I'm just going to eat it. I'll save her some work. She doesn't have to cook it.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
But I finally, I remember that I started learning about like diet, and I go, because I started putting on a little bit of weight. You know, I'd always been in shape. I go, oh, I'm eating a little too much. So.
Yep. Yeah, man. I've been there before, big guy. I'm still there. Man.
Yeah, I just did that yesterday with my wife.
But all right, big guy. I'll let you go, and I can't speak for long today because we're driving back, and I don't want to take much of your time. But
I understand, but will you guys drive safe out there? And thank you as always.
Thanks, big guy. Have a great day,
You
man.
too, buddy. Take care.
Later.
Seany, ladies and gentlemen, be safe on the road out there, guys. Oh, man. Let's see here. Take a look at the chat. Somebody says Seth Rollins hates mint chocolate chip. Hello, hello. Taking a look. All right, take another caller here. Oh, man. Bring on Devin for a question. Devin, welcome to the Ryback Show. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well because tomorrow is my 17th birthday, and I'm spending it with the big guy.
Ah, good deal. What are you doing for your birthday?
I don't know. We went to a couple different places the other day to celebrate it, and I thought it was pretty cool. But this Saturday, I'm actually going to a wrestling show at the Bridgewater Vets Club.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a good time and a happy 17th birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
What's on your mind? Anything? Any questions?
I've been thinking about asking this for a while. Me and my friends are always wondering who the heck is going to dethrone Roman Reigns. And then my friend Chris, one day we're talking about it, he says, well, how about Ryback? We're laughing, but I start questioning, like, maybe you could. So I wanted to ask, what would it take for you to come back to any wrestling company and dethrone their world champion?
Well, I've got to get cleared with my shoulder.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Once I get cleared with my shoulder, I think things are going to start. We'll have options on different routes of that can go. But I need to make sure that I'm going to be okay for the rest of my life. I've just spent 7 years, trying to get my health back. So a lot of people, they continue to ignore, and a lot of people don't understand or know. Like it's, my health was completely gone. So I've been blessed to get my health back with my back and my shoulder, and we were very close, but I've got to do a little more work to where I know that I'm going to be okay long term. So.
Yeah. So I'm guessing in like a year or so.
I'm not even. We're very close. I would like to think not even nowhere near that amount of time with where we're at. But I've just got to get one other little thing to happen on my shoulder, and we're going to be in the clear. So.
All right.
I literally go day to day, week to week on this. Like the work that it's literally morning to night that I do. I'm constantly between the work that I do and then the work on my shoulder. Like, so it is, we're close. I just don't have a specific, and I would never give a specific, but we are close.
Okay. Because I've been noticing a lot as of late as well. You've been teasing that you wanted to have a match with Goldberg.
Correct.
Yeah. What made you think about doing that? Is it because people are saying you're just like an imitation of Goldberg, or do you just want to prove that you can still go?
It's the match with a story in place. So the majority of people have never, only a small minority have ever done the Goldberg comparisons on that, but it was enough to where there's a story in place for that. So in wrestling, having a story is the most important, is the focal point of everything. There is a built-in story there with that. Kind of like the Roman Reigns thing. There's a built-in story there, right? With the Shield costing me the championship. So people would, oh, that makes sense why he would want, like, so that's the kind of stuff where there has to be a connecting the dots. There's a connecting the dots story with Bill Goldberg, which would be a perfect way for me to come back to wrestling with that, if all the stars line up.
Yeah.
as
and
opposed
let's
to,
just
but it's
yeah,
not
let's just hope.
necessary. It's not there. There's many different options on that. It's just something I would personally want to see happen.
Okay. Yeah, well, let's just hope if you do come back, people on Twitter just don't have like a whole backlash about it, because we know how people are on here.
Oh, I'm not too worried about any of that. People come. So you got to understand the fact that I've been gone for 7.5 years and people still talk about me. That doesn't happen too often with that.
Yeah.
So
it was the same thing for CM Punk. He left WWE in 2014, and for 7 straight years, they were wondering, is he going to come back? Is he done? Where is he going to go? It's sort of the same thing with you.
But people, if whenever Dirt Sheets make a post about me, I get way more clicks on there than anybody else. There's a reason, and that when they do that, it doesn't matter if people are having like a little fit online or on Twitter. They're talking about you with that. That feeds right into everything. So because there's always going to be people that like you and then people that hate you. The thing is I'm polarizing regardless. So people are they're gonna comment one way or the other. So that's a good thing. That stuff will never bother. You just block, move forward if you see it, and just keep going on. No matter what happens, people are going to complain because most people are unhappy.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that, like, most of the time. Like, there's always going to be someone who says that your stuff sucks, but there can be multiple who say that you're doing great.
And none of it matters. All that matters is you're doing what you do, and you do it well, and the people within the industry or around you know what the truth is. So with it, but people talking, whether you're the Tom Brady or Conor McGregor or whoever, plug in anybody. No matter what you're doing, people are talking good or bad about you. There's never so that's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
The thing is, I tell people I've been gone 7.5 years and people still talk about me. So that's all we need to know.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get to stuff like that, because after I graduate high school, I was actually going to get into pro wrestling training, and I was actually wandering around, like, going on to seeing different pro wrestlers and asking them what's the best advice you can get to start pro wrestling. And I wanted to ask the same for you as well. What's the best advice that you can get to up-and-coming pro wrestlers?
What did they tell you so far?
They told me to just be myself, and if there's just one person saying something bad, just don't listen to them. Just do what you think is right, and don't go over the limit.
I would tell you to go join a wrestling school. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I was going to do that.
That's the biggest thing you need to do, though. You have to take action and go join a wrestling school, and then you'll have much different questions once you do that with it. The best thing you can do, but have a positive attitude and go join a wrestling school if you want to be a wrestler. That's the number one thing. And by doing that, you will be doing more than the majority of people on this planet, because you will be taking action on your dreams.
Yeah. All righty, man. Well, thank you for letting me on here. I'm going to go now. Thanks for letting me on here, man.
You're very welcome, buddy. Keep going, and I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Hopefully I'll be back soon. All right. See ya.
Take care. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you very much. But yeah, take action. Majority of people, that's like the guy, I've had guys come on and they ask like all these questions about wanting to get into wrestling. And at the end of the day, it's like they're just waiting to hear. Like, I don't know what they're waiting to hear. It's like, go join a wrestling school, and you want to join a good wrestling school, but go join a wrestling school. That you'll be doing what the majority of people that say they want to do this never do. They don't have the courage to go do that part. That's getting over the hump. Go join a wrestling school, and a lot of the other things are going to fall in line. And then you'll have other questions based off that. But you just got a positive attitude, take action. And that will separate you from the majority of human beings on this planet. Yep. Kylie, good to see you. Best advice, don't pay any attention to dirt sheets. That's the other 1,000%. Those are dirt sheets, and those things are primarily, and there's levels to it. There's ones that just cover news. It's like, there's levels to it. The places that just cover factual news and leave their opinions on that. Those are places where they're at least just covering news with it of the things going on. Problem is some of those, even the ones that do a better job, still do clickbait things at other times. And then you've got others that are just bottom of the barrel, trash dwelling, clickbait all day long. That's all they do. And they have no love for the business, no love for the people doing it or anything like that. And they're just interested in just getting you to click and leave a comment on their thing. They don't care about you. They care about your click and clicking on their page or their website with it. And they will do that at anyone's expense. With it. But the key is that we can never control. This is like Twitter and all that with it. We can't control how people are going to act and react. And like, I've done all this work and I've read thousands of books and listened to all these books and different things and applied all this stuff and like know what I'm doing. The best thing is just, you can't do anything about it with it. So the best is just to avoid it. It's like, I remember the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, and he's older with this. And he lived most of his life without social media. And, he's one of the all-time great NFL coaches and the dynasty of him and Brady over there with the Patriots. But he was like, somebody said something to him about like people on social media saying, and he was just like, who cares? I don't know them. He doesn't even look like he's like, I don't know what that, like, why would I care what a bunch of people that aren't like here, what they think? Like, if you had, and that's social media on that, it's a bunch of people, usually giving their opinions on things that they're not well informed at or not, they could never do or have no experience with. And there's levels, but it's just like, we're better off not even hearing it or being around it. It's just not, it doesn't serve us because that's why I just try to limit the amount of time I even see that. That's why I'm upset. Twitter, I have to search. Twitter won't show me my feed of people that tweet. I have to literally search my name to see the people that tweet me on it. And it's being done. I know why they're doing it. So I have to see the hate with it. And it's just like, well, I'll just block. I don't care. I'm going to react to the good people. But then I just limit how much I take it off my phone for good periods of time. I'm like, that way I just have breaks from it. And like, because you can't do anything about it. People are constantly going to just whatever, Take another call here. Justin, good to see you, buddy. Hope everything is well. Just taking a look who we have in here. Let's bring on Primitive for a question. Primitive, happy Monday. Hello, hello. Oh, did we lose him? We might have lost him. Somebody, I do have a question in the chat. Let me see. That WWE male wrestler that transitioned to a female, will her be considered a diva now or still a normal wrestler? You're talking about Tyler Rex, Gabby now, I believe, with that. And I don't believe they are going back into wrestling. I don't know, though. I could be wrong on all of that. Let's see. We'll move on to another caller. Bring on Top Fan for a question today. Welcome to the Ryback Show. Anyone on TikTok you want to come on? Instagram at Ryback, on X, Twitter. Guys, my spaces, call in the People's Podcast. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, big guy. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. What's on your mind?
All right. So you read a lot of my posts. You know I'm a big fan of yours and your work.
Thank you.
You just said a little while ago that you're close. Are you like next week close?
No, we don't know. I can't, and I'm not going to reveal any of that. I'm not going to be too specific on the other.
The other thing I thought of, it goes back to the shadow banning and all that shit that keeps pulling on you. It's just hypothetical, mind you.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just thinking, if somehow within the next year you end up working for the Khan family, I could see him helping you with that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, there's.
I mean,
I don't know if you're aware, but one of the biggest reasons that Adam Cole left WWE was really his Twitch account. Because, he does that gaming thing every week. They tried to pull the plug on that, and that was like a big one for him.
Yeah.
And then there's, a lot of the other wrestlers that have their little side projects.
Yeah.
And I can see you just being a perfect fit, man.
I'm telling you right now.
Tony Khan helping.
Yeah, there's people don't understand. So you have to, when I was in WWE in 2016, before I left, I was the only WWE talent. They brought us all into a room and got everybody into a room together and tried to force everybody to sign over their social media on this. They went over this program on like sponsors and like not talking bad about sponsors.
I can see that.
And I was the only talent that walked out of there and did not sign it. There was one other talent, but they literally cornered him and got him to sign it. He came up to me later and he goes, "They got me." They didn't even attempt to try to corner me because they knew that whoever would have tried that would have ended up on their asses with it. Like, not happening. And I flat out told him, I go, "I'm not signing this." I go, "There's nothing there." But so they wanted control over things or to be able to delete your accounts. It was ridiculous. And that was what really, really started. That pushed me where I got really angry with things. I was like, this is not your guys' stuff. You have no connection to this over us on it. But that was this social media thing with what they're doing. It is 1000% WWE and Vince. They are trying their best to control me with it. And even doing that, just to give you, if I get my social media fixed, I'm going to make a very big claim on here. There's nobody in wrestling that has a social media with what I do and how I know how to get views. Nobody's even close to me if I have my social media fixed. Even with what they're doing to me right now, I have more TikTok followers than anybody. Their next closest person is like 1.2 or 3 million away from me still with it. Like, nobody's even close, and that's with them suppressing me on there now too.
I know, big guy.
So it's like, but I want people to understand like how connected WWE is. Don't get me wrong. That would be a huge goal of mine, going over there, trying to have as much help as possible. Vincent, though, the problem is they're partners with these companies. They have AEW, as far as I know, are not partners with these companies. Maybe they could, they just.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
So I don't know if the level of just because he has money, Vince is a very powerful person. They are literally partners with these companies. So this is what the big problem is of how deep this runs with it. And it's like they are going there. So, but yes, that would be a goal if I do go there. Obviously, my goal is I want my social media fixed. I want it fixed without going there.
So if you look on the top 500 billionaires list, Shahid Khan, Tony Khan's father, is number 123. Vince McMahon is like somewhere around 496, 497, along with Donald Trump, who's also not on the top. These are top 200 billionaires.
Yeah. So there is definitely
those are people with the legal teams that can get this done proper. And
I agree with you. That is what it will take. I agree with you. But that is why that's not the sole reason I would want to go there, but that would definitely be one of my goals. And coming back is trying to get my social media fixed. It's been one of my goals. It's been my top goal without going back with everything. So, but I agree. I think that could be that could be something that greatly helps me out by returning, to wrestling and coming back in a big way. That definitely, it would be a huge incentive getting my social media possibly fixed. So
it would be, I could see them helping a lot. I really could.
Well, why wouldn't they? But I have a huge following.
I want you to have as much promotion as possible.
I agree.
Not that you really need it.
I agree, though, but it helps.
On Twitter, 898 matches.
What's that?
CageMatch.net has you down for 898 matches.
Okay.
41 pay-per-views. Those are impressive numbers.
Thank you.
Those are main event wrestler numbers. And then you want to talk about storylines. Well, there's almost nobody in AEW you haven't had a story with before. And maybe a few that you haven't, but we could all see how it would go. You versus Lance Archer, for example, That's an easy story to write. No,
Yeah.
if you show up at Wembley, I won't be too surprised.
Well, I'm telling you
But
right
I'd
now,
be
I'm
super happy for you,
1000%
bro.
not involved in that. I'm not involved in that in any way. I'm not cleared. So I'm not, there's been no discussions, nothing with anybody yet. Like I've just outside of me and my agent, and like that discussion is when can we get cleared? And it's going to depend on one thing as far as the timing of that with what is going to happen possibly with Goldberg, but then getting a definitive answer on that. So that's going to kind of reroute what direction things are going to go or what timeline that could possibly happen with that. Like there's so, which I don't think there's any rush on his end from like, so, but I'm hoping we're supposed to have another conversation, I think this weekend, and we're going to see. I don't know yet with anything. I just know, like, I know where I'm at, like, for my shoulder. So I'm not wrestling. I don't care what anyone else says. I'm literally not wrestling because of my shoulder. That's 1000% the only reason. So people, but a lot of people put out a lot of misinformation. It's like, so, but we're very close. And then once there's not going to be a lot of updates, but we are in the fourth quarter.
Okay, well, if you remember when Danielson debuted in All Out, he didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
Same with Adam Cole. When he debuted, he didn't wrestle. So I could see you debuting without wrestling.
Yeah, but I would have to. I've got to be cleared.
I guess you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got it. Like, and I need to know for me. I've just spent 7.5 years getting my health back, and like I got to make sure I'm okay. Like nothing. I will not sacrifice my health again. What I've had to do to get it will be the most foolish mistake if I rush this at this point without getting this one little thing we've got to get to free up. And like once that happens, we're gonna be going. So it's like I'm doing everything. I'm in shape. I'm cutting down. I'm getting ready. It's going to be a very quick transition time from like get cleared, get in ring ready, and get ready to come back. It's going to be a very quick transition time. So because everything physically is already there, so I've just got to just get cleared, get in the ring, make sure we're good, and we can go.
They got Saraya cleared, Brittany.
Yeah, a completely different thing though. You know, she didn't need to have her shoulder replaced. So
no, but it was a supposedly career-ending injury, and yet now she's kind of wrestling again.
Yeah, so we've just got to. Everything is different on that, and she's doing amazing. I can only do what I know, and we've got to get cleared first.
All right. Well, it's been since 2018 is what they have listed as your last match.
That is correct. It was probably the second half of 2018 with that.
Yeah.
That was when Sophie and her disc started rupturing, and I stopped doing appearances. Yeah.
Well, then you're due back, and then I did a lot of research. You and CM Punk had like a 2-year feud in WWE in the Fed. You worked with him a lot.
We worked quite a bit.
I mean, more than most people got to work with him.
Yeah, we worked quite a bit.
Like he just got back into it and everything, and it seems like every time he does something great, he gets injured again. But we all know getting old sucks.
Well, he's done. I think he's doing better this round here. He's staying. Since he's been back, he's looked pretty good. I thought so.
Yeah, no, he's looking more and more like his old self. I'm just wondering, if you got it, if you still have a friendship with Mr. Brooks, and I could see you being a collision guy. I don't know if you caught his shirt. It was really, really CM Punkish. The back of his shirt said, "I'm a collision guy." I know you know what that goes back to, but
I don't know. What does that go back to?
The Paul Heyman guy thing.
Oh, okay.
Right back during the same feud with you. It was great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope to see you on TV soon, big guy.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can. We're just
like I try telling people. People always like they compare you with Goldberg, but in the wrong ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not worried about any
The
of that, brother.
haters like to try to say that, it'll hurt people. And I try to always point out to them, no.
Yeah, it's not true. So I'm not worried. I know the truth. I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't have worked with top people for the majority of my career if that was anywhere remotely true.
Everybody. There is no top talent, even currently. I mean, maybe a couple of the current kids, but overall, you worked with every single
big to small.
talent,
I worked with everybody pretty
talent,
much, and there was
Reigns,
yeah.
Roman Reigns, everybody.
Do you think? Let me ask you another question. Do you think if I was so dangerous and hurting CM Punk, I would have went on to feud with Cena?
No.
Do you think I would have then went on to feud with Jericho? I won it.
Oh yeah, there was another storyline that can.
But I won it, and Jericho has repeatedly put me over. Like it is, I'm not worried. Cena has put me over. I'm not worried. I know the truth. Arn Anderson, one of the most respected producers, has repeatedly put me over. The people that know the truth. One person can't ruin a career, never has. I don't care what people read, what dirt sheets they read, what they choose to believe. I've been gone, so a lot of people have changed the narrative for me being gone, and they ignore the injuries, they ignore the truth of the situation. I just keep doing the work. I'm getting closer. I'm going to come back. You all are going to witness this. You all will be able to go back and watch me prove my mindset for 7.5 years, saying I'm going to do what I'm going to do and overcoming these 2 career-ending injuries that nobody's ever come back from. And we're getting very close. And people are always going to hate and come up with things. It doesn't matter how great you are, how good you do. They're going to hate one way or the other. The truth of the situation is the majority of people that are hating on me actually loved me and were huge fans of me at one point, and they're just upset because I'm not there, and they need someone to blame for that, and they're not looking at the truth, so they just blame me and come up with these things. That's why he must not be there. They need some sort of thing to understand to try to justify why they feel the way that they feel. They loved me, and they're just mad that I'm gone, a lot of them, and I'm not worried. I'm going to come back. A lot of them will hop back on the bandwagon when the social media is fixed and everybody sees how truly popular I really am, which at the end of the day doesn't really mean anything, but it's cool because it allows my hard work to pay off in other ways, allows me to reach more people. But people are going to see the truth. It's coming, and we're just going to keep moving forward.
I hope so, because let's be honest, bro. We both know you're not going back to the side.
Yeah, I've not been very open about that. That's not even on my radar.
So the options for television time, thankfully there is another option, but it's clear to me, if we're going to see you on TV, it's going to be AEW, it's going to be TNT, which is kind of, to me, poetic. Because had WCW been able to continue, I think you would have ended up there and did great like Goldberg did, rather than those lackluster pushes that they would book you with.
Yeah, I'm not worried, brother. We're just moving forward. We could talk about going circles about this stuff all day. Fact of the matter is I had a great career for the short period that I was there. I unfortunately had to leave with my injuries. I've gotten my health back. Got a lot of great things going on, and I'm going to have an opportunity to come back, and we're going to be just fine. So let's just focus on the future and remain optimistic, and everything's going to be good.
Okay, well, I don't know if you heard the other new rumor, but it's possible Adam Copeland might be at Wembley.
Yeah, I don't.
Another guy that came back from a severe injury.
Yeah, I don't.
It would be great to see all of you guys that have accomplished this, because it gives other guys that are like Biggie Langston, it gives him hope, which is what injured people with injuries need. Is they need hope.
Well, it takes a lot of time and perseverance and positivity, and you need some luck on your side as well. But the mind is a very powerful thing, and I think that sometimes things just take time. But Edge was gone for a long time as well with all of that, and so things take time. But I've had the time, and I've had the stem cell procedures and the scar tissue work, and you guys, the work that I put in, hours every day that you guys will not understand, that only I know, which is why I speak so confidently. Like I already know how much I've overcome and how close I am. So it'll happen, brother. I appreciate the support, and y'all, I look forward to having you back on. All right.
Absolutely, big guy. And yeah, I'm the top fan for a reason. Also, I would like to put it out there to anybody listening. I've been dealing with mental health awareness and mental health issues all of my life. And if anybody needs advice or an ear to listen to, I'm always there.
Good deal, brother. Thank you so much.
It's my thing to help the IWC. It's my IWC contribution. It's what I do.
Brother, good deal. Top fan. I hope you have a great Monday, all right?
You as well, man. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you very much, buddy. Greatly appreciated. Taking a look. Shawnee, I always pop Shawnee. I see when I see you disappear off the X spaces, I think that you just left. And then I always see Shawnee back in the chat on YouTube. Shawnee, you truly, man, you're the man. Shawnee's in the chat eating some Rocky Road ice cream now. Him and the boys went and got some Frosties. They're in the car just enjoying their Frosties. Nice Monday afternoon, driving around Long Island, listening to the Ryback show. Somebody says mental illness is definitely a problem in our society. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know if you guys saw it too, and I just saw a clip on TikTok because I don't watch his stuff. I just see the clips occasionally. Alex Jones, everyone has a different opinion. He's been right on a lot of things. He's been wrong on a lot of things too, right? And what those things are, I couldn't even specifically tell you. I just know he seems like certain things he says you can see that they have lined up, and been more in line with what has happened than other things or that we don't know about. But he was talking about everything with the pandemic and how they're planning another one here for mid-September with the virus, the COVID, with the variant, the Canadian variant, and trying to return to masking. And I was like, there's no way. And trying to go to lockdowns again and for going into next year with the election for the mail-in ballots, I go, there's just no way. I don't see. I think they're underestimating. I think if they try to do that again, I think they're going to see like the government buildings, and there's going to be a whole other level of problems with that I don't think people are going to put up with. But we're living in a crazy world, man. Everything with Hawaii going on, and with like what's truly going on over there, and like it's unfortunate, man. But I see this stuff, I'm just like, but mental health. You see these videos of people just completely gone on social media, and that first pandemic. I know a lot of people, and they are messed up. Like they're socially awkward now. Like with things, and they self-admittedly, it's like they talk to people, you think everything's fine, they're not. I'm just like, Jesus. It all comes back to that pandemic. I was like, well, how does that thing messed up people? But like businesses and things, I survived it luckily, but like in business is nowhere near what it was prior. In the world with inflation, with everything, my costs are way higher. It is bad compared to what it used to be with that. But a lot of people lost everything. So I'm like really grateful. I'm like, Jesus, I did it with it. And, but it's rough compared to like what things we're doing. It's like, but like people, just imagine working your whole life and like losing everything you've worked for and losing your home. And like, it destroys you with this. And it's like, that gap, that middle class gap is being wiped out and eliminated. More and more people ending up on the streets. And typically what happens, what do people do when things get tough? They turn to alcohol or drugs or a combination. And then it's just a downward spiral with all of that. So I hope to God, try to be optimistic that everything's going to be all right. And we have a lot more good people on this planet than bad people, but we've got to fight, because hopefully that is not the route that we're taking. Shawnee says, big guy, let's run for office. Ryback Shawnee 2024, free Rocky Road ice cream to everyone that votes for us. That's going to be we'll get the Ryback, the RNS Rocky Road manufacturing plant up and running to give free ice cream to America. You guys get out and vote for Ryback Shawnee 2024, free Rocky Road for 3 days. 3 days for a coupon you get for free Rocky Road ice cream. It's like Ben and Jerry's, but with Ryback and Shawnee, our faces on the little pints. everybody has good intentions. There are a lot of people that get into politics. I think there's some people that get into it that don't have good intentions. But I do think there truly are some people that get into politics that have good intentions, and then they realize the way that the world works with lobbyists and really powerful people. And yeah, you're going to do this or your family's going to be wiped out, sort of thing. And then you kind of just fall in line with it. So, I think it's best me and Seany, because we'll sell you guys out in a heartbeat. Living in that mansion out in the mountains, Seany. Just a big R logo and a sausage up there, the big mountain up there. We'll have our separate places, but they'll have a conjoining thing within the mountains for our huge mansions in the mountains, just looking down at the people. They fell for that ice cream gig, fist bumping. Seany just high out of his mind 24/7. Things would eventually fall apart because Seany, the weed would get out of control. I feel like the power would go to his head. Seany would actually fall off the mountain in a night of drunken weed, just going overboard with it, fall off the ledge of the mountain. Big sausage. He had a hell of a run. All right, let's see here. Take on one more call. Take one more call here on the Ryback Show. Bring on Mike for a question. Maybe one or two more. Mike, welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself, Mr. Ryback?
I'm doing well, thank you. What's on your mind today?
That's great to hear. Greetings from Mexico.
Ah, Mexico, mi amigo.
Yeah.
¿Cómo está usted?
Oh, I'm doing very good. It's really hot in here.
Ah, me too.
Yes.
What?
So I had two questions for
Okay.
you, Mr. Ryback. First one is WWE related, and the other one is diet related.
Okay.
Okay. So first one is, I was thinking, or I was wondering if you could think of any butterfly effect that you've experienced in WWE, like something, or like a domino effect, like something small that happened, like in a match or in a conversation or whatever, that turned into like a really big thing.
Oh, I have no idea, man. I'd have to give me an example of something, like something that happened in a match or in WWE that turned into a really big thing.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know if I can think of one in the WWE. Like, I was thinking since, well, you were a wrestler there for how many years?
I was with WWE at 22 years old. I signed with them.
Wow. So you must have had like some sort of knowledge of how everything worked out with the creativity thing, right?
No, a lot of that didn't. And a lot of us didn't have any idea how that, because the internet was nowhere near, like the information on the business was nowhere near, unless you came from the business or knew somebody in the business, which I didn't. This stuff was not. We did not have the social media like today coming up.
Oh, that's
phones
right.
and stuff existed, but internet was very new still. I didn't know anything about wrestling stuff outside of just being a fan, and like it would have no way of knowing the inner workings of the business on all of that. So,
and things there wouldn't be such thing like rumors like nowadays. That we think we know who the next Royal Rumble winner is already, and
none of that was. I'm sure there were wrestling sites in the early days of the internet, but even that, it was so small, I would imagine, compared to what everything is now. I remember discovering a wrestling page right before I got into it. There was one that I would go to and see like some of the things, but it was, even that was like, the news was nowhere near like what it is today. That was my first experience. Even I go, whoa, this stuff exists like that, but nowhere near like with like social media, like Twitter, and how quick information can go out, or how quickly false information can go out. I don't think false information was going out, like compared to what it is with that. So
it's just like even more like theories.
Yeah.
Stuff, right?
Well, now you have everybody is on Twitter or social media can put whatever they're thinking out there, and or like something they read, or like or retweet something they think, that can be a completely false rumor, and like, and that grows legs and takes off. Like that didn't exist back then. So yeah, things are entirely different now than they used to be on that end. And you got people profiting off of just putting out lies. And so now it's like there's just a combination of just lies and truths out there every day. And it's like, unless you have a little bit of common sense and awareness to like fact check things, or like look at things and go, you got to almost look at things now like going, okay, this isn't true until I confirm it's true. And then even then, how much can you actually confirm outside of what you hear, unless you're really involved with it? So it's like, it's an entirely different thing.
Gotcha. And you think that like there's a difference in how they schedule things as to how they did like 10 years ago? Like, you think there's more time to define a main event for a pay-per-view, or like you think it's all scripted more in advance, like in more time in advance?
No, I don't know how from a creative standpoint, I don't know how far out. I think certain things that the Rock Cena thing was something that Vince had booked further out when they did that we weren't aware of even at the time, and that was being involved. So that wasn't like, and not being looking at dirt sheet stuff, and maybe that was mentioned at the time, but I remember not knowing anything about that until like they started doing it with all of that, and people didn't talk about that stuff. I think Vince, with certain things, I think he plans out a little bit more in advance. I think a lot of things, most things, I think are a lot more week to week, depending on, but I don't know. I'm not like Stanford, and I don't know how AEW does things. I don't know if they have, talent boards where they have people assigned to the talents that are like, maybe they do have something where they have a general idea for certain people for the next year or 6 months or things. I would hope they kind of would for people, but I've been there. I personally haven't seen any of that, so I don't know.
Right. And Mr. Ryback, we'd love to see you on Inside the Ropes. Why haven't you been there?
I've been inside the ropes for the majority of my career.
No, I mean the show with the shows.
I never heard of it.
No? Oh, it's I see it on YouTube. It's like a kind of like a podcast, or just
do you think any of those guys that do that have been inside the ropes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got like a lot of superstars.
No, but like, are they the guys that run the show? Have they been inside the ropes? The guys that actually?
Oh, probably not.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of it.
But yeah, I was actually just watching a Chris Jericho story with John Moxley.
Okay, yeah, great guys.
Yeah, and then Wade Barrett, who was talking about the whole Nexus thing and how it went down in SummerSlam, which was a terrible ending. And yeah.
What was the diet question?
Yeah, the other question was, I wanted to know your opinion on the keto diet, because I'm 18 years old. I am about 95 kilograms. I'm kind of a big guy, but a lot of fat, really. I'm not.
What is that? Is that close to 200 pounds?
I think so. Alexa, what is 90 kilograms to pounds?
Is that your girlfriend?
90 kilograms is about 198 pounds.
Oh, close.
Yeah.
I was off by 2 pounds.
Yeah, say 200 pounds.
Stupid.
Thanks for the feedback.
So what do you think about the keto diet?
I think for some people, I think it's good. I did it for a good period of time, and I thought that I lost some muscle and my body fat increased on it. I don't do specifically well on high fat diets with it, on having high saturated fat. I do well with some fats on it. I found for me having a more balanced diet and still high protein, and then in moderating my carbohydrates and my fats and separating my carbs and my fats as much as possible throughout the day, I get much better results on that. My metabolism also does better when I have carbohydrates in my diet. My metabolism is more efficient. A lot of people are like that. There are some people, though, that do really well on just high-fat diets with very low carbs. But the only way to know that is to do it for a period of time and to assess your body and to be very honest with yourself. But you have to do other diets before you know. A lot of people, and this is just something that I've noticed, and this is not counting people that abuse steroids that do the diet that or are selling products with it. But people that lose like a lot of weight, that go from being really, really overweight on a keto diet and they lose a lot of weight, a lot of them are skinny fat, where they have like really weird abdominal areas to me. And that's what I noticed when I went on that. My side fat got more, even though I'd lost some weight. So I go, this isn't, it wasn't right with it. But I have a certain thing, and I forget this specific. I talked about it many times on here. I had to go look. I have a specific thing, though. I don't do well with high-fat diets. It's a genetic thing. That everyone's different, but a lot of people are like that. So I didn't keto. You know, I'm really big too. Like, I love vegetables and like the micronutrients. Anytime you completely cut out like a food group, something it's. You know, I don't know, but you can do keto and still get a lot of greens in there and keep your some carbs from the green vegetables or leafy vegetables with that. So I guess it would depend how you do that as well. But, you know, some people absolutely love it, man. I particularly, it didn't get the best results off of it long term. So.
Right. So you recommend just like give it some time and see how my body reacts.
Yeah, I would do it for 6 months. And, you know, there's that Dr. Eric Berg is a great keto guy out there. You know, he's not physically, like, he's not a physical specimen or anything. He's a doctor, but he's very intelligent with things. And clearly his channel has a lot of really good information, health information. He has a lot of really good keto stuff. I just did it. I did it for a good period of time and over a year. And I just noticed after, and I go, my diet, like how I look now and my muscles and everything with having a certain amount of carbs in my diet, I just do better off of carbs and perform better. But give it some time. But I always tell people you don't really know unless you do a lot of the different diets and try it for a prolonged period of time.
Gotcha. Well, muchas gracias, señor Ryback.
You're very welcome, buddy. De nada.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll head off now, and thank you so much for the time here.
You're very welcome. Hasta luego, amigo.
Hasta luego, señor Ryback.
Alimentarme más. Good deal. Thank you very much, buddy. Our amigos down here in Mexico. El Hombre Grande. I look forward to hopefully coming down to Mexico sometime once everything's going. Even if going back, if I get, you know, able to get back to TV, I still would like to go do a big match down in Mexico at some point. It's the one place I've never been. One of the places I've never been. Somebody said he was plugging his own show. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was his show, but it's called Inside the Ropes. I would like to, you know, if you're going to say Inside the Ropes, you know, hope you have some experience inside the ropes. It's like, those are the shows, though, you're like, oh, it's called Inside the Ropes. Oh, how many matches? Oh, I've never even been around a wrestling ring. Just call it Outside the Ropes. This is where bleacherbums.com. Bleacher something, maybe not, because that's reserved for our other buddies, the other scumbags. Bleacherboys.com, you know, something where you could you know, it's honest reporting, you know, from a fan's perspective, and then you're just reporting from the bleachers. I'm big on, you know, that's like the nickname, the big guy. I'm not the biggest guy. I'm just the big guy. It's honest advertising. I'm not calling myself the cyborg, the machine, the dog, the big dog. I'm not a dog. That's false advertising. You've got all these people using gimmick nicknames that are lying to the people. I'm the most honest person there is, the big guy. Just a big guy. Just honest, that's the character. Take it or leave it. I do have a little bit of Spanish down, and I do know a few other phrases that are beneficial for myself. I should. All right, guys. With that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap up today's show. Got to knock my cardio out and make sure I got to get this shoulder worked on here in a little bit as well with everything. Please check out my Feed Me More Nutrition over on feedmemore.com. Save 20% discount code FeedMe20, FeedMe20. Get your free shaker bottle with all orders, guys. Feedmemore.com. All the Ryback merch over there as well. Also, guys, if you can leave the reviews, a reminder, if you go to iTunes, and please write a review and leave a star rating. It really helps me out on the audio version. Download this show to subscribe to it on the audio as well if you can't catch the lives. And that audio will be uploaded shortly after the live every day, Monday through Friday here, guys, over at the Ryback Show. Have a great one. Be safe, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more.
Hey, Rybackers. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and shell shock those notifications. And for the best supplements on the planet with Feed Me More Nutrition and all the latest cool new Ryback merch, visit feedmemore.com.